Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Welcome to a rainy day here in Dallas, North Carolina, a Zone 8A. Today we are going to be here in the production house because we are getting some glorious rain today, but also whether it was raining or not, you may know that we just got back from visiting our friends at Spring Meadow Nursery in Grand Haven, Michigan. They're in Western Michigan. They are the home of the Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. So we thought it would be a great time to kind of talk about the shrubs that we offer through our website, gardeningwithcreekside.com. Because also, now I know for my southern people, hand raised, I'm talking to myself. Last thing we're thinking about right now is planting shrubs into our landscape, because for us southerners, the fall is the perfect time to begin adding those shrubs. So we're talking about September, October, November, December. That's when we do our main heavy planting. However, as we travel and as we visit other gardens and we talk to other gardeners in other parts of the country, we realize, that shockingly, different growing conditions require different planting times. We were talking with our sweet friend Terry, who is our sales rep for Spring Meadow. She was needing to get some landscape done at her house, and so she was like, I've got to hurry up and get those plants in the ground. And we're like, why? She said, because she doesn't like to add plants, shrubs, trees, whatever, to her garden really past September because of their winters, right? They are so incredibly cold, the ground freezes, and so she has got to get her shrubs, her plants, get their roots established before the cold hits. So while she is done planting, we are just beginning our planting. So, right, let's talk about, for those folks that are in cooler zones, cooler growing conditions, it could be go time right now for you to go ahead and add those perennials, shrubs, and trees into your landscape before your cold hits. Now, my southern people, all of these plants will still apply to you, but your timeline will look different. So we're going to go through and just talk about the ones that, I love and I'm excited about. Not saying that we don't have a nice wide selection. You can, of course, go to gardeningwithcreekside.com, click on the plants, it'll show you shrubs, you can click on the shrubs, and then there you go. Know that we are constantly adding more numbers into the inventory, so if something looks low or is sold out, just click that button where it says notify me, and as soon as we get back in stock, you will get an email. We did just get back from Spring Meadow, right? And we did the beautiful garden tour at the Deppie's house, the owners of Spring Meadow. One of the new shrubs that they introduced last year that we talked about is the Kinsley's Ghost. Now, Kinsley's Ghost is not a new plant. However, it is new to the Proven Winners family. This is a non-invasive climbing honeysuckle. Remember, we saw it at the Deppie's. Nice big, they made kind of a cage for it to grow on. This is a gorgeous, really fun, unique climbing honeysuckle that is hardy in zones 4 to 8. It needs at least 4 hours, anywhere from 4 hours to full sun, and it can get like 12 feet tall, 5 feet wide. I'm going to be adding one of these to the privacy berm fence. I'm going to plant it on the house side because the north poles are behind it. Dark green trees with this blue-green foliage. They have really neat bracts. So think of it in like leaves. Think of it as like a giant eucalyptus. Those really circular leaves. Looking at it right now, you don't see that because this is the new growth. But they'll put on little flowers, and then those flowers turn into berries. So Kinsley's Ghost is a great option. Fun climber if you were looking to add a climber to your garden. Now, if you are in a warmer zone and you want to go ahead and grab some of these shrubs, do what I did. So I have a Kinsley's Ghost because I want to add it to the berm, but I didn't want to add it as a quart in the middle of the summer. So what I did is I took a 10-inch pot, basically it kind of like it'd be like a 2-gallon container, and I planted it in that, and it's just hanging out of the chicken coop. It is growing like crazy. I can keep it nice and watered. It has plenty of soil available to it, as opposed to it going in the landscape, and then I forget about it for a couple of days with the water, and it dries out. So if you want to go ahead and get some shrubs, go for it. I would just recommend that you move it up to a bigger container, let those roots grow until you're ready till the fall to plant it. If you're in those cooler zones and you want to go ahead and pop it in the ground, pop it in the ground. Hydrangeas. We have 1 or 2 hydrangeas available for you. And so they come in, oh my gosh. So this is, let's find one. My absolute favorites is Little Lime Punch. This is no secret that this is probably one of my all-time favorite hydrangeas. It is a panicle, which means that it blooms on new growth, strong, sturdy stems, right? This is Michigan color. So if you are Terry and you're gonna put this in your, Michigan garden or in a cooler environment, then you're going to get that gorgeous color. The North Carolina mountains, right? So where you have cooler temperatures, cooler nighttime temperatures, you're going to get that gorgeous pink. Where we are, maybe not so much. Now, let's take a moment to talk about what your plant may look like when it comes to you. Obviously, before it leaves, we're gonna clean it up some, right? So here you have, on this, there was some old foliage, right? Y'all, don't let a couple of little old leaves freak you out. That is not a problem. Do you see all this beautiful green growth up here? It is a very happy plant. All of our shrubs ship as a quart-sized container. Yes, we have 3 gallons available at the nursery. We're not shipping a 3-gallon. We are shipping a quart. So if you order a shrub from us, it is going to come this size. But keep in mind that when you are ordering a shrub, don't be so focused on what the top looks like. Look at your roots. Look at all those beautiful, healthy roots. You're buying the genetics and the root system of this plant. Same thing goes for your perennials. Nice and tight when your shrubs come to you. Like I said, if you're in those cooler zones and you're ready to plop it straight in the ground, plop it straight in the ground. Watch your water for the first couple of weeks. Make sure it gets nice, well, and established. We want those roots to grow. This is why we encourage you to get that biotone starter fertilizer, because it is focused on healthy root growth and development. Extremely important. If you're in warmer zones and you're not quite ready to plant it, take it out, move it up, let it grow, get nice, more roots growing. You're not gonna have to water as often because you've got more soil available to yourself in the fall. Then go ahead and plant it. So, got those punches. Now, one of the big keys that people are searching for right now, because we can look at our website and look at the analytics, fragrance. You sweet people love your fragrance as much as Jenny does. So, y'all, I cannot tell you how much you need this plant. This is a summer sweet. This is Vanilla Spice. Again, when we were at the gardens at Spring Meadow, I came across a summer sweet. I don't know if it was Vanilla Spice, but I know that I have Vanilla Spice growing in the chicken coop right now, and it is covered in those white spikes of flowers. And y'all, it is a heavenly fragrance. So summer sweet, given its name, it blooms in the summer, and it's a very sweet, sweet fragrance. Your pollinators go crazy over it. This is a perfect one to put if you have a little bit of a wetter area. It loves that wet area. It will naturalize. Now, I personally have not had issues with it going crazy. Naturalizing means, right, that it will send out some shoots and out some runners. Never have had a problem in my garden with that. I have had my Scentlandia, yes, it goes crazy. This one, not so much. Zones 4 to 9, especially if you grow it on the drier side, you're not gonna have that problem. This is gonna need at least 6 hours, I would say 6 hours of sun. It can get some height. 3 to 6 tall, but it blooms on new growth, so I prune mine every year. Mine's about in that 3-foot range right now, and 3 to 5 wide. So it does love those moist conditions, and it has, of course, that gorgeous summer blooms and then really pretty fall interest on your foliage. This is a great one, and if I'm not mistaken, this is also a native, I believe. So gorgeous plant with loads of fragrance in the summertime. This is kind of hydrangea land in here. So we've got like Wee Big Giddy, we've We've got the new, another one from our friend Megan Matai, the Wee Bit Innocent. We showed you Wee Bit Innocent also in the gardens, more of a mature plant. If you like those really light pastel colors, then the Wee Bit Innocent is going to be one for you. It is a re-blooming macrophylla hydrangea. Look at all of that beautiful new growth, my friends, right? So with your macrophyllas, it's best not to prune them, but this is a rebloomer, and they do that for my northern people because Spring Meadow is in Michigan, and they are very aware of your crazy weather in those colder zones. And when the plant starts to wake up and then a late freeze comes and kills it all back. So this is going to bloom because it is a rebloomer. It blooms on old growth. So maybe you lose that first flush of flowers, but then you get all the rebloom, and it is gorgeous. Nice big mop head pastel colors, either pink or blue, depending on your soil's pH. Hardy in zones 5 to 9. And it's not going to be huge, about 2 feet tall, 2.5 feet wide. Depending on your zone, the cooler zones can do full sun. If you're like me with the hot and humid weather, you're going to go more morning sun and afternoon shade. Now I have to remember where this goes, because if not, my folks will get quite upset with me. So yes, we've got Bobos, you've got Firelights, Firelight Tidbit. Firelight Tidbit is a great panicle hydrangea. We cannot keep this one in stock, both at the nursery or anywhere, because it is a panicle, but it is nice and short, nice and tiny, hence the name Tidbit. Even for us, we will get pink hues. We're not going to get that massive intense color that the cooler zones get, but we do get some blushing to it, so that's really good. Hardy in zones 3 to 8, 2 to 3 tall and wide. So because it is a panicle, it absolutely can do full sun, and it does really, really well. It is tough, it is tight, they don't flop, really, really strong habits on them. Quick Fire Fab, which is, yes, right here. We also have, we also have the Fairy Trails. So here is the Fairy Trail White. This one's missing a tag. I got one right down here, but look at that beautiful growth on it, right? So the Fairy Trails are the cascading hydrangeas. They do great in containers. So if you can put it in a container, a nice big container, that would be great. Give it some winter protection. So you're gonna wanna give it somewhere where it doesn't get those cold winds. Yeah, the Quick Fire Fab, this is a really great one. We have it in the berm, and we have it in a couple of other places. Another nice panicle. It'll be a little bit bigger, right? Still in that Quick Fire family, so you're gonna get some blushing on it, and you can just tell from the habit that it's going to be a bit of a taller hydrangea. Still panicles. We love panicles. Guaranteed flowers every single year. Hardy in zones 3 to 8, 6 to 8 tall, 5 to 6 wide. So you've got that. We, of course, the budlias, the butterfly bushes, my people, my southerners, or my, for my southerners or for my northern gardeners that want to put it in a container, this absolutely will work. Gardenias, right? Look, I had to pick this one because it does have that beautiful new bloom. This is Pillow Talk. Gardenias, right? Iconic southern shrub. Again, high fragrance, beautiful evergreen foliage on it. It is, Pillow Talk's gonna be a little bit more manageable in size than your Steady As She Goes, because Steady As She Goes gets a little big. This is gonna be ultimately 3.5 tall, 3 to 4 wide, because it just is a nice habit. Does great in containers, hardy in zones 7 to 10. So if you are in a colder zone and you want to grow a gardenia, you absolutely can in a container, bring it in your garage, a protected space in the winter so that you don't have dieback. So we have got the gardenias. This is Pillow Talk, making sure I get it all back in the right space. Roses. Now, roses, roses, roses. One of my favorites is, let's see, here we go. Steady, no, it's just Steady She Goes, but that was a gardenia. At Last. I do love a good rose that has fragrance. And At Last was one, if not the first one, that they really bred for that beautiful fragrance. It is a delicious smelling rose. Smells like a classic rose, has that beautiful peachy color to it. This is a beautiful shrub rose, right? And it is going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9, very manageable in size, 3 feet by 3 feet. Of course, roses bloom on new growth, have got lots of pretty buds on here. There you go, roses, and if you want landscape roses or you want kind of ones that kind of drift out, we've got like the double reds, those as well. If you are looking for some really fun color in your garden, then here we go. I'm just gonna kind of let Jerry show these. These are your 9 barks. So you have got like tiny wine, you got ginger wine, you got summer wine, right? All of these nice dark foliage of the plants. So these will do great in those cooler zones. They're, let me see what my hardiness zones is. Yeah, 3 to 7. So if you were looking for a beautiful, this is tiny wine, obviously it's gonna be a lot smaller, but it is that 9 bark. You get 9 barks for the foliage color and of course the bark. As they mature, your stems are gonna have a lot of fun interest. They are for those cooler zones, and so that would be a great time for my cooler climate people to go ahead and get these. This is only gonna be 3 to 5 tall and wide, because 9 barks can get to be quite large. Now, my southern people, here we go. This is, y'all, here we go. Oleander. We have got the Austin Pretty Limits. So if you are in those warmer zones and you want to get a gorgeous oleander to put in your garden, this would be a great one. So Austin Pretty Limits is hardy in zones 8 to 11. 4 to 6 tall, 4 feet wide. It is a full sun. But look at the gorgeous flowers on Austin Pretty Limits, right? Really nice, bright fuchsia color, you know, kind of a hot pink. This would be a great time to go ahead and add these into your growing conditions, right, into your gardens. If you're in a zone 8, this would be a great time. Get it in before the winter hits, get those roots established, and have lots of fun with that. Yes, I was gonna come down and then make my way around so I'm not having to jump. Now, if you know me, been in my garden for any kind of length of time, and or were paying attention to the garden tour we did, Winecraft Gold, smoke bush. This is a shrub that I didn't know I could grow. I thought we were going to be a little bit too hot for it. It gets full sun up until early, well, mid-afternoon, and then it does great. Now, Winecraft Gold is a gorgeous chartreuse color. You may look at this and you're like, Jenny, it's like just green. Yes, because we're in the greenhouse, and our greenhouse has UV protection. When you put this out in the full UV light, it gets that beautiful, practically yellow, bright color. It has been a fast grower for me. It is hardy in zones 5 to 8, 4 to 6 tall, 4 feet wide, full to part sun. Y'all, I planted mine as a 1 gallon, and it is not quite 2 years ago, and now it is taller than I am. Love this plant, this shrub. It is gorgeous, absolutely stunning. So we have them if you're ready to add them into your garden. We've got viburnums and your lilacs. So all my cooler zone people, I know how much you love lilacs, and I understand that after having some that grow successfully in my garden. The new one is the Bloomerang Pur Pink. They call it Pur Pink because depending on how you see it, it may look like purple flowers or it may look like pink flowers. This is actually doing pretty well in our gardens. I have them in the signature garden. They do get full sun, but then they get a break in the afternoon. So if you're a southerner like I am and you're afraid you can't grow lilacs, give them lots of good morning sun, early afternoon sun, a break in the afternoon, because they're hardy in zones 3 to 7. And 8A, mine are working out just fine. And this is gonna be 3 to 5 tall, 2 to 3 wide. So we've got those, we've got the dark purple. I mean, we've got, I can see a couple of other ones. I think it was the blue. I'm trying to tiptoe through here. Yeah, just the center of purple. Lots of options for you on your lilacs. Now this is one. Remember how with the Kinsley's Ghost, I went ahead and moved it up to a bigger container? Well, I did the same thing with this Vitex. This is Rock Steady, and Rock Steady is new. It was added this year into the line. It is a Vitex. If you're not familiar with Vitexes, I am sure that you probably have seen them, especially if you're in the South. They look like a giant butterfly bush. They have got beautiful, right now, got little buds here, lavender flowers that your pollinators just come to like crazy. I wanted to have Rock Steady. I could only get it as a quart from us, so I picked one up maybe 3 weeks ago at the absolute most, put it in that container, just like a 10-inch container, and it has more than doubled, tripled in size. It is beautiful. This is going to be hardy in zones 5B to 9. So see, really even the cooler zones, you can grow this as well. And this is going to be a full sun. You got to have the 6 hours. It can be like a small tree. It can grow up to 12 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide. But the reason that you're going to want to do the Rock Steady is because it blooms longer than other Vitexes. So that is some of the great genetics with Rock Steady. It blooms longer. It is a very, very tough plant and just weeks and weeks longer than other Vitexes. Outstanding color, habit, heat, and drought tolerance. So we do love that as well. I'm going to use it as a specimen plant. If you wanted to get a couple of them and use them as a hedge, you could do that. I'm just choosing just to do one. More than likely, it will end up somewhere in the signature garden because it just makes sense, right, to put it there. Azaleas, I do love me some Perfecto Mundos because they are just great azaleas. So whether you want the purple, you want the double white. Let's see who this is. I think this is still double white. Yep. So that Perfecto Mundo double white, this is what you're going to get. Nice, beautiful growth on that. And the Perfecto Mundos are that repeat bloomers, right? They will bloom 3 times, heavy in the spring, heavy in the fall, and then in the summer you will get a nice light flowering on that as well. 6B to 9, and roughly in that 3-foot range, right? That kind of gives you an idea, a general idea. So with those azaleas, you have got lots and lots of different options. Another great, typically more southern plant, right, are abelias. And we have talked about these. We saw these in the garden at the Deppie's house. And I'm a huge fan of abelias because they work, y'all. They just are great evergreen shrubs. So here we have, look at this, gorgeous. Needs a tag on it. This is Mucho Gusto. So here we have Mucho Gusto. Beautiful foliage, classic foliage. We saw this as a mature plant, gorgeous. So you've got that. Then you have got the, I can never say this right, Brillantia, like brilliant, right? Sometimes these words just get to Jenny, especially first thing in the morning. So if you're looking for a bright, bright color, beautiful mounded habit on these, roughly hardy in zones 6 to 9. Great evergreen shrub. We love those. Also, great evergreen. If you are looking for a boxwood alternative, here we have the Glow Pop. This is going to be actually a, it is an inkberry? No, it's an ilex. Yes, so it's in that holly, right? So it is a soft touch holly, beautiful chartreuse color. If you don't like boxwoods or you deal with boxwood blight, the boxwood moth, we learned about the boxwood moth that likes to chew on the boxwoods, then your Glow Pop is going to be a great option for you. I see those in my very near future. North Poles, my friends. North Pole arborvitaes. These are going to be beautiful trees. So the North Poles we have growing along the berm. They're going to get some height, 15 feet tall, 3 to 5 wide. This is a great size plant for a quart. You move this up or you plant it directly in the ground and you're going to have great growth on that as well. The All the time, people are asking about the barberries, the orange pillar that you see in the berm. Here we go. Great time to go ahead and get your barberries in. They are deciduous. It's okay, y'all. If it's in the wintertime and you've got structure in your garden, it'll be just fine. You get 3 seasons of beautiful color on it. These are hardy in zones 4 to 8. So we've got lots of different kind of other options for you on your barberries, but there's a lot of options out there. If you are in those cooler zones, I would say zones 3 through 6-ish, then you're really gonna need to start thinking about, okay, if I want to add something to my garden, let's get it ordered now, get it here so I can grow it out a little bit, get it established in the ground, get those roots established before my cold hits. If you're in zones 7 and above, right, the hotter zones, you have got plenty of time. Start doing some research. If you want to go ahead and order some things, especially if they're the warmer zones for you, go ahead and move them up in a pot or put them in the ground. If you know that you can kind of manage them and keep them good through August, then go for it. But it's definitely time to start thinking about those fall plantings. What do you want to get in the ground really for next year and the coming years? Because that is going to be a great time to do it. As always, hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. My friends, I got so excited talking about shrubs that I forgot to announce who the winner is for the signed pink auger that is Jenny's Edition. So remember, we did that little bit of a, I know it's not even a contest, but those of you that signed up or are already on our email list, we did a giveaway. So the winner of the Jenny's auger that I have signed is going to be Carolyn Somerset. So Carolyn, we are sending you an email directly, and so you will get that from us announcing that you have won. We will send it to you. We are so excited that you get to use it. For all of you sweet folks that signed up for our emails, thank you so much. Stay tuned because we have so many amazing things ahead for you. We appreciate all your support. See y'all next time. Bye, friends.